Hey everybody, how are you? This is attorney Charles Zavala, your immigration lawyer. Today I got a video regarding a removal of conditions if you have a temporary green card. So like, subscribe, share this with anyone who likes immigration news. But today's news specifically is going to be for people who have their what's called a conditional green card. Okay? So let's start all the way back from the beginning. If a person gets their green card through marriage, right? So hypothetically, let's pretend I am from the USA, my wife is from another country. If we get married and she gets her green card through me, usually, and this isn't for all the situations, but usually what happens is they will give her a green card, but it's only valid for 2 years, right? It's not most when you get the green card or the legal permanent resident, it's valid for 10 years. But when it's your first green card, usually they'll give it to you for 2 years. And why, you may ask, right? So obviously a lot of people want to come to the USA, and because of that there's a lot of marriage fraud that goes on, right? This is part of the process of when we apply to get your green card. We have to prove that the relationship is a bona fide. So immigration's smart. So they said, look, there's probably a lot of people who get married, get their green card, come to the USA, and then they split up. So what they did is they give you this green card that's only valid for 2 years. And at the end of those 2 years, you need to file what's called an I-751. It's called to remove your conditions on that green card. And if everything goes well and they approve it, they will now give you a new legal permanent resident card, or the green card, that's going to be valid for 10 years. Okay, and so that's kind of a way to make sure, hey, you didn't get your first green card for reasons of fraud, marriage, immigration reasons, right? But the problem is, what happens if you got your green card through marriage and now you need to remove these conditions and you're no longer with your partner? And it's not your fault, right? Because that happens. Not all marriages last. That's just the truth of it. So this past month was February, and we did a lot of videos regarding how to get your green card through marriage, fiance visas, all these things that had to do with love. And what's kind of funny is I got a lot of calls about people in this situation who got their green card through marriage but now are no longer with their spouses, and they were kind of scared. They want to know, hey, what can be done? All right, so this is what can be happened. There's three options. First and foremost, you will still have to file Form I-751, right? It's an application that you will file with the government. There's going to be evidence. We need to submit that. We need to do it all right, because that's going to be based, if they approve it, you're good. They'll give you it for 10 years. If not, immigration is now going to look at you and they're going to start asking more questions, right? So there's three ways we can do it when we apply. One of them is, hey, you know what? Maybe you and your partner are still on good terms. Yeah, you're no longer together or you're divorced, right? That's okay if they are willing to still sign that application, because remember, it requires their signature. If they are still willing to play along and say, look, you know what, we're no longer together, but we did enter it in good faith, then hey, that's one option, right? That's easy, amicable. But the truth is, sometimes when people get divorces, they're not on talking terms. So option one may not be it. So option two is, if you don't have your spouse's signature or they're not willing to play along or help you, you can still do it if you can show that you entered the marriage in good faith, right? So it doesn't matter that my wife or my partner's not wanting to sign off and go on for me. If I could show that, look, when we entered this marriage, it was in good faith, and you can show it various different ways, then that could be an option, right? That option number two, what I just talked about, is usually what most likely happens because the couple's not on talking terms. So if we could still show that, look, the marriage was entered into good faith and not to skirt immigration or anything like that, we could still do it. It's a little bit tougher because we got to show more, but it is what it is. And lastly is option three. This one's kind of the rarest. If we could show that you will suffer extreme hardship if they don't approve this, that's another way they can approve it. But it's kind of sometimes tougher to show extreme hardship. You have to show going back to your country is going to be terrible conditions, that you have a life here. That is an option to do, but it's probably the rarest of them all. So of the three options we talk about, usually, A, if your partner is on board, hey, that's fine. We can do it that way. Two, if they're not on board, but you can still show that you entered the marriage into good faith, and we can do that with photos, affidavits, proof that y'all were living together. There's multiple ways we could do that. That's an option, and most likely the most popular one. Or if you can show that you would suffer extreme hardship, right? So if you have right now your conditional green card, you need to apply to remove the conditions. I would say about 90 days before it expires, right? And then if you're still with your partner, fine. You know what? That makes it easier for us. If you're not, you're gonna have to look at options 2 or 3. We handle a lot of these cases because it's real life, right? This happens to people all the time. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to give us a call. You can like, subscribe, anything on social media. It's always going to be with me personally on the phone. There's sometimes people out here being imposters or pretending to be me. No, every phone call is going to be with me on the phone. If you call and schedule it, that will be with my team, but the phone call will be with me. So if you guys have any questions about this removal of conditions, or if you need to get it done, or you want to get your green card or citizenship, we are here to help you no matter what. My name is Attorney Charles Zavala. Thank you, and y'all have a beautiful day.